I hope it doesn't come down, but I'm afraid it will. Most people remember 2008. And here we are today, but I think we're heading for a global depression.
We are heading to a global depression. Yes, you heard that right. Robert Kiyosaki, a renowned entrepreneur and author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, raises significant concerns based on economic indicators and sluggish U.S. economic growth. Inflation will destroy financial stability for all U.S. citizens, and it's inevitable. Here's more of what Kiyosaki has to say, but before we get into it, do give us a quick like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you're done with that, then let's get started. Robert Kiyosaki, famous for his financial teachings in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has been warning about an impending global depression, predicting a severe economic downturn that's hard to recover from. He believes that while the overall economy might suffer, those who are well prepared, like informed investors, could do better. Reflecting on his accurate prediction of Lehman Brothers' collapse in 2008, Kiyosaki has long anticipated a significant market decline. Kiyosaki's warnings are focused on various alarming economic indicators. He is critical of the U.S. policies under President Biden, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, suggesting their actions could steer the country into a depression or even war. He dismisses the notion of a soft economic landing, forecasting instead a crash landing. Kiyosaki is particularly concerned about persistent inflation, which he believes is eroding the financial stability of American households. Despite his initial skepticism about Bitcoin, Kiyosaki has become a strong advocate for it, viewing it as a hedge against economic uncertainty and inflation. He believes Bitcoin could outperform traditional assets like gold and silver. Let's delve into Robert Kiyosaki's recent tweets, where he navigates us through the complexities of the economic landscape. Our narrative begins on February 15, 2024, when Kiyosaki made a bold declaration, sick and tired of hearing so-called experts ask what the Fed is doing. The Fed is the problem. The Fed is a criminal organization. The Fed has destroyed the economy. He claimed that the Fed's policies have disproportionately harmed the poor and middle class while providing bailouts to wealthy banks. With these remarks, he sets the stage for what lies ahead, challenging conventional wisdom and identifying the Federal Reserve as a primary culprit in the economic saga. Now, moving forward to April 7, 2024, Kiyosaki's voice resonated once more, this time with a foreboding tone. The everything bubble, stocks, bonds, real estate, is set to crash. U.S. debt is increasing by $1 trillion every 90 days. The U.S. is bankrupt. Save yourself. Each word painted a picture of impending doom, urging caution and preparation in the face of an uncertain future. As April progressed, Kiyosaki's warnings grew louder, echoing across social media platforms. On April 9th, he targeted President Joe Biden's economic policies, labeling Bidenomics as a joke. He claimed that inflation is eating American families alive, while the only product decreasing in price is the illegal drug fentanyl. With biting criticism, he challenged the status quo, refusing to sugarcoat the harsh realities of the economic landscape. As a reminder, a few days earlier, Kiyosaki highlighted the words of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, who finally told the truth about inflation. With a hint of urgency, Kiyosaki warned of the looming threat, stating that inflation is winning the battle and the Fed can no longer promise a quick fix. Recently, on April 25th, Kiyosaki delivered his most sobering assessment yet, declaring the American economy to be in a state of depression, citing subpar growth as evidence of its ailing condition. Specifically, he said, "Is the American economy in depression? Yes. The definition of a depression is an economy in subpar growth. In other words, the economy may be growing, but below potential." Kiyosaki pointed out that while the economy had grown by 3.4% in the last quarter of 2023, it only grew by 1.6% in the first quarter of 2024, which is less than half of the previous quarter's growth. This slowdown worried him as it could mean trouble ahead. and he encouraged people to stay informed, get ready, and take precautions. In simple terms, Kiyosaki believes that although the US economy is still progressing, it isn't advancing as quickly as it should. He is concerned because the growth rate has dropped significantly from the previous quarter, suggesting potential problems. Adding to these worries, Kiyosaki has also highlighted troubling trends regarding the financial stability of the United States. One key point he emphasizes is the staggering amount of money being wagered on events like the Super Bowl, which reached an astonishing $68 billion. This is particularly alarming given the nation's record high level of debt, which Kiyosaki argues is unsustainable. The United States is now the largest debtor nation in the world. Kiyosaki's observations prompt a deeper look into the historical trajectory of U.S. debt. From its inception, the United States has carried a burden of debt, which soared to over $75 million by 1791 following the Revolutionary War. Despite occasional reductions, such as in 1835 due to land sales, the overall trend has been upward. This was particularly notable during the Civil War, when debt escalated to nearly $3 billion by 1865. Throughout the 20th century, the pattern persisted, with U.S. debt steadily increasing, especially after significant events like World War I, the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, and economic crises such as the Great Recession of 2008 and the COVID-19 pandemic. The federal spending in response to the COVID-19 pandemic surged dramatically, with a staggering 50% increase from fiscal year 2019 to 2021. These historical and contemporary factors have led to an astronomical rise in federal debt over the past century. From a relatively modest $43 billion in 1923, federal debt skyrocketed to an eye-watering $33.17 trillion by 2023, as documented by U.S. government fiscal data. In such a dramatic economic landscape, questions arise about how to survive financially and where to invest to achieve financial independence. Enter Bitcoin. Kiyosaki believes that with a $900 trillion market, Bitcoin can easily capture 10% of that market in the next 5 or 6 years, leading to a $200 trillion valuation, or $10 million per Bitcoin. Kiyosaki explains that money is evolutionary. It starts as a collectible, like a cool rock or feather, and can eventually evolve into a store of value, such as fine art or cars, if it has the right attributes: portable, divisible, and durable. It can then become a medium of exchange and, finally, a unit of account. He believes that in less than 50 years, Bitcoin will become the unit of account, replacing the fluctuating values of dollars, euros, yen, or yuan. By dividing the $900 trillion market by the 21 million Bitcoins, we get a value of $43 million per Bitcoin. This is a bold prediction, but Kiyosaki stands by it. So, what are your thoughts on Kiyosaki's warning? Will there truly be a global depression, and should we really invest in Bitcoin? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked today's content, do give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.